Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shotterton Show. We made it through, of course, the first week of the XFL, and it was just that. I'll tell you what, dude, I watched the XFL, and it was definitely the XFL. Dwayne Johnson was there. Okay, Dwayne Johnson, he's got a chip on his shoulder, okay, that he's trying to sweep off, all right, okay. It's all about the 54th man, okay? Let's ball out, baby. My buds, okay, bruising balls. These guys are here, Jeff and Brennan. Guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah, what up, chat?
What's up, chat? I feel you, man.
Yeah.
It was a busy weekend. I'm ready for bed too, man. No worries.
Busy.
Dude, it was a busy weekend. We watched a lot of XFL, okay? And, dude, I got some major takeaways. First thing I want to ask you guys, after watching the first weekend, what did you think?
Let's just talk about the kickoff. Like the kickoff, they're all standing there in a line, like 10 yards away from each other, just
Like
waiting for the guy to
players.
get
Five, dude. It's 5 yards, man. They're 5 yards away.
It's the foosball, dude. They were full foosball.
full foosball. That, and I get it because their whole thing is like safety, right, on the kickoffs, because it's arguably punts and kickoffs are the most dangerous plays in football. But I thought that was interesting. And I thought that was kind of cool.
So the announcer said, man, he was like, okay, we're going to have them line up 5 yards apart, okay? And the announcer was like, and it's going to lead to bigger rips on the run back, okay? On the return. Did you see that? Were there bigger rips on the return? What'd you say?
I didn't see,
I don't know if I saw
any big rips, but I thought the same thing. I'm like, okay, the guy's going to catch it about 10 yards behind that line, and all he's got to do is bust past that line. Like there's no one back there except for the kicker,
right?
You know? So yeah. I thought the same thing, but I didn't see any rips. At least
I didn't see any
one good
rips.
block. One good block away from running the lane.
I saw a couple guys receiving the ball get like just beamed with the ball, and the ball's like bouncing around. But
yeah, I saw in the Vegas Vipers game with the Renegades, dude. Somewhere in that game, dude, the guy just didn't catch it. And it was like bouncing. He like had to run back for it. He was like scrambling. It definitely made it feel like not pro football. Okay, he had all the time in the world to catch this ball, and there it is, wobbling around the grass. Okay,
but he still gets 3 seconds though. That's the kind of nice rule. He can let it. It can bobble around for 3 seconds before they release the hounds, so to speak.
Dude, how do we feel about Dwayne Johnson? Let's ball out, baby! Every game. What do you think about the "Let's ball out" tagline by Dwayne?
Dude, it was great seeing him at every game this weekend, just hyping the crowd up. I don't know how that's sustainable. How you can physically fly from like Seattle to like Texas in like 2 hours or whatever it is, but I mean, I know physically you can do it, but like, dude, this guy is committed to the game, and just knowing that him and Danny Garcia, they're going to try to get to every game. Just knowing that, like, I'm like, dude, let's ball out, Rock, dude. Let's ball out, Scorpion King. Let's ride, man.
He's only got 10. There's only 10 weekends, right? It's like only 10 game season, so he can commit. You know, it's like 2 months, man. 2 months. Okay. Okay. How do you guys feel about the XFL going from the extreme, year 2000, like showdown, epically intense, hardcore physical, okay, to a change where Dwayne's like obviously made himself paired with the NFL. They're going to try to be the farm league for the NFL, work out safety rules, all this sort of stuff. And now it's got this vibe of like, it's for the 54th man. You guys who need a second chance, guys who never got a chance, intersection of dreams and opportunity. Like, how do we feel about that being the lifeblood of the XFL versus like extreme SmackDown? Because I wanted some extreme SmackDown and we didn't get it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chad, because it's like you didn't have that extreme. I know in the past, like, I don't know how many years ago it was. I don't know if it's 2020, but those guys, like, speaking of the punt return, those guys would just get blasted. It was like they as soon as they caught the ball, like it was like concussion protocol, dude. Like it looked terrible. And I've seen guys like, in the NFL have their career ruined. Like my boy Lockett years ago, Ricardo Lockett, dude, he took a bad one trying to return a ball. And so I'm actually for it. I think the sport needs to be a little safer, and I like the farm league. You've got obviously got the USFL on Fox, and that's kind of crazy to think about. But it still has the certain level of extreme. And what people always watched for was Vince McMahon. You know, like so now they got the most paid actor in Hollywood. Oh, dude, that's like
Johnson,
that's the extreme. Dude, that's the extreme if you can smell what The Rock's cooking.
If you can smell his cooking, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that they're straight up like, hey, we're gonna partner with the NFL. We want these guys to have an opportunity here. They call it as it is, because to try and compete with the NFL it's impossible. And that's what they tried in early 2000 to be the tougher league. And it's just not, you're never gonna get there. You know, so like this, the XFL, USFL really is you are trying to get these guys up, or you're going to give guys a second chance who got cut from those teams or who are on their way out or, you know, semi-retired. I will say this. I was impressed by like the overall quality of the production, you know, like ESPN with ESPN Plus. And I know the games are on like ABC as well. Or some of them were, I mean, the quality was really well done. You could tell that they put some money into this. And so it's not just, you know, one-off. It was pretty impressive. Even the replays, the commentators, it was dialed in. And so I was impressed by that right out the gate.
Thanks for bringing that up, dude. Okay. Bruce and Balls, you guys are big into commentators. Okay. I know that's kind of your bread and buds. So, dude, when you guys were like watching the games, okay, what did you think about the commentators, man? They were serious about it. They were focused on it from my perspective, okay? They knew a lot, okay? I don't know how you know that much about obscure players who no one knows about, but they did. So what did you guys think, dude? Experts of announcer, commentary, go.
There were good commentators. I agree with Shad as far as it was really impressive to know so much about a guy who, you know, 2 months ago was not playing football, right?
He was on the practice squad for the Atlanta Falcons, you know, and boy, do they love making those connections to the NFL when they're there, dude. They every chance they can.
This guy, I love the backup to Pat Mahomes for 3 months while he was on the practice squad.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you learn from him? Well, he's a great competitor. Awesome.
Dude, okay, excellent. Man, I'm glad you brought that up, dude. Okay, one of my favorite things about watching the XFL versus the NFL was the sideline interviews throughout the whole game.
Yeah,
dude, you were getting tons of sideline just after a big play, player interviews, dude. Everybody on that field was mic'd up. Okay, we got offensive coordinators mic'd up, wide receivers mic'd up, quarterbacks mic'd up. I mean, it was like, dude, in terms of like a different feel and giving us as an audience access, okay, to like the underneath, okay, love that.
Well, even they had the XFL command center with I'm drawing a blank on his name, but they're reviewing the plays and the challenges. Those guys were mic'd up too. They're like, well, okay, I see, you know, he's got control of the ball here, but then he kind of loses it, but his foot's, you know, that was great. And I think we already mentioned the shatter. I don't know if you did, Bram, but it's like they're trying to test out these different strategies that potentially the NFL could adopt and use. And I love the transparency. I love the mic'd up was hilarious. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I love that you get Dean Blandino there too, dude. That guy Blandino, awesome. He was great.
Yeah.
And I also love the rule that the coach gets to be in the quarterback's ear until the snap, dude. That's kind of nuts. So he's like doing the reads and stuff potentially. Like you could have a really crazy quarterback coach, and the quarterback is kind of like a little puppet in some situations. You know, it's like it's kind of wild, and I kind of like that. I think that's fun to help some of these new upcoming quarterbacks get their feet under them a little more.
Here on my nose, you can challenge penalties.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we talked about that a little bit while we were watching the games. That is like next level, dude. Something I think in the NFL should be there. Like if it's a bad call, dude, you should be allowed to challenge that. What's your take on that?
keep the refs honest, dude. Keep Dean Blandino honest, really, because the refs are kind of like puppet master. He's like the true puppet master, right?
Dude, and the NFL can incorporate it now, dude. Tom Brady's gone, okay? So paying off the refs and deflating footballs, that time is over, okay? It's time to let you challenge bad calls by these refs, okay?
I love the scores are so crazy because there's no just standard extra points.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love how, like, when it gets down to it, you're going for 3 points. You know, you need those extra points. You're going for 3 points.
Yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of teams just go for 2 and they don't get it, or they go for 1, don't get it. It's so much harder to get those extra points, which I thought was awesome.
So my boys, dude, Seattle Sea Dragons, dude. You know, first of all, let me talk just about the Seattle Sea Dragons because, you know, love the old logo. There's nothing like the old logo. The kits were kind of fresh, dude. They were up there with the Brahmas. I thought the kits looked good. The helmets, like, it's a deep orange with blue, green dragons. In any case, the Dragons on the first drive of the game, first score of the game, I guess it may not have been the first drive, but first score of the game, Seattle Sea Dragons go for 3. And the coach's philosophy is like, the analytics are there, dude. Like, you have just a chance to score 3 as you do 1 or 2 points. So he was like, dude, so the Seattle Sea Dragons, dude, are all in on the 3-point conversion. And we'll see at the end of the season how often they do it. But it's just funny because, the analytics are really changing. And there's a story of like this high school football coach looking at like the 4th down conversions and all that stuff in like high school. They're like starting to break down analytics. And there's like, you know, so there's coaches out there who go for it every 4th down. There's coaches who go for it every 2-point conversion, like, you know, that kind of thing. And that's like nuts to think that like the team I'm rooting for is just going to go for 3 every time. And it's going to be this emotional roller coaster. And it's so sick. I love it.
Dude, okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of these games. Okay. So we had Vegas Vipers versus the Renegades. Okay. Orlando Guardians versus the Roughnecks, the Brahmas and the Battlehawks, and the DC Defenders and the Sea Dragons. Okay, Brandon, whoa. Dude, you wanted to say something earlier about these DC Defender fans?
Dude, they showed up, man. That stadium was crazy. And they brought back the beer snake. I don't know if you guys remember the beer snake from 2020 where you start stacking cups and they just start rolling up the seats, you know, like people just collect all the cups around, and I'm sure the beer's just flying on all of them. And dude, these DC fans are nuts, homie. The Sea Dragons they were making a really good run, and I guess the like security or whatever took away the beer snake, and the DC fans lost it, man. They just started hucking lemons at the Sea Dragon. And dude, it got in their head, man, because they didn't score on that run, dude. It's like it got in their head, dude, because it was just like the ultimate defense. Talk about 12th man. Dude, these guys are wild. And anytime they scored, oh, dude, just everybody's $20 beer just goes flying in the sky. And I'm like, dude, these guys were having, honestly, like, sad to lose the first game of the season, but it's like the first game of the season. And our team looked good. So, but man, the fans in DC are going to be a factor, no doubt. Like, no doubt, hands down. Like, you're going to go into DC and you're going to feel it the moment you step on that field and the lemon pegs you in the helmet.
Right. Dude, sounds like my kind of fans, man.
Yeah, those Blaze fans in Salt Lake are pretty wild, too, I heard.
Dude, God bless, okay? Hey, I have a dream. Blaze is going to come back, okay? So don't worry about it, okay? Just keep that to yourself, okay? Jeez, Louise, okay. Dude, so, listen, guys, Brahmas, Jeff, they're your team. How are you feeling about the Brahmas, everything about them, you know, top down, give us the inside out scoop on your feelings about the giant, most waste of space cow with horns ever, okay?
Oh, not the chickens, the cow. All right. So here's my takeaway. First of all, this game for 3 quarters was a defensive battle. No one scored anything. It was 3-3 at halftime. It was Just brutal. Neither team could really get anything going. AJ McCarron for the Battle Hawks, who I also have on our fantasy league. he couldn't do anything. Brahmas they have some decent running backs, but they just couldn't get anything going. They score in the fourth quarter, and they're up like 15-3 with like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes left in the game. And the Battle Hawks come back and they score 2 touchdowns. They get some extra points. They score 15 points in the last quarter. In the last like 3 minutes.
Did you feel like Kaka was the law in that moment? Like, were you like,
Kaka imposed their law in that moment? I mean, it was rough, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, but that's how kind of these games all felt. There was never really, except for the Orlando-Houston game where one team was pretty dominant, but the rest of them, the other 3 games, it was like, well, this can really go either way, depending on just a player or two. And that's what happened. They showed up at the very end. And Kaka was the law. Took our loss, just like the Sea Dragons, week 1. Everyone's, these guys have only played together for a couple of weeks. So, we'll give them some time. They'll be all right. Yeah.
Dude, well, let's talk real quick about the Brahmas helmets, man. Because, I know you said it, Jeff. You were like, I was like, oh, here comes another helmet. It's going to have horns on it, like the Vikings, like the Atlas, and the lightning bolts. And instead of going back, they're like pointing forward, dude. It's like, it's the shocker, man. It's the shocker. I love it.
I'll tell you what. Fashion police, Brahmas have the best outfits. They got the best jerseys, best setup for sure. Second would be Seattle Sea Dragons for sure. Like that orange and green combo. They got kind of like on their helmets, it looks like, snake skin or something. It looks
Christmas, dude. It's Christmas. It's great.
Does the XFL have staying power? Are you going to watch it again? Was it enjoyable? Is it something people should watch? Is it fun? Give us the last minute thoughts on that, okay?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'll jump in there. So obviously I'm going to go to games. I'm going to take everybody I know because tickets are right in my, I'm going to be like, hey, you want to go to a sweet football game with me? We'll rock out, we'll ball out, and you can just buy me a brew at the stadium. So I'm definitely watching every Sea Dragons game I can, and I'm watching reruns on ESPN Plus if I can't, And I got a couple teams I'm interested in. I like to look at the Renegades. I like to look at DC, obviously, and so I'll be watching a couple of these other teams just to see how they shape up for sure. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm sold.
Yeah, I think that the quality of play is only going to improve as these players play together longer. I think you saw a lot of, quarterbacks and players dropping the ball or miss passes, but that's just because these guys have only been together for a couple weeks. They're really good players, and so I think the quality of play is only going to get better. I'm with Brown. I don't live in a city where I can go watch the games, but the fact that they're all on ESPN Plus or on ABC, makes it easier to watch. But I'm excited. I think you should definitely check it out. And if you live in one of those cities, definitely go to those games because they've got to be pretty reasonable and they're going to be fun. These guys are playing hard. I mean, that's the thing that was apparent. These guys they're balling out for the Rock.
Yeah. Yes.
but they're all in. Yeah. I love it.
Their dreams are meeting opportunity. Okay.
And if you heard this little nugget, they all get $1,000 bonus if they win the game.
Whoa, dude, incentivized. Okay, you can make $10,000 on the season.
Old school. Everyone gets $1,000 on the team.
That's an old school vibe. Yeah.
Okay, man. XFL, let's ball out, baby. Shut it.